my overall experience with this was actually really good, as I said, but on the actual suggested serving size, not the best.
Here's my key, philosophy. A freak like me just needs infinity.
Guys, what's going on? Johnny the Supplement Advisor. So here today with the much anticipated review on Insane Labz PSYCHOTIC. So firstly, a massive thank you to the guys over at 100% Nutrition and Apparel for giving me a tub of PSYCHOTIC to review. Now, homeboys, homegirls, I have heard a lot about PSYCHOTIC over the years, and I've obviously heard a lot of horror stories too, but the proof is in the pudding. So how does this one work, or how does this one not work? Let me elaborate and give you guys my honest opinion and feedback in this review. I said the stories I've heard haven't been the best. Guys rushing to ER, guys with jitters and shakes, and yeah, I wouldn't say I was scared to use it, but I mean, I've just never kind of ever got down to it. I did use Murder before, or Red Drum, and that to me was decent. It was alright, nothing insane or psychotic about that. But obviously, being the supplement advisor and being that I obviously love Doc Labz products, it's kind of primed me for anything in life, literally. Depression, bad thoughts, everything. So Doc Labz has kind of taken me under their wing like that when it comes to all their cracks, because bro, if you can survive crack, you pretty much can survive anything. So when this was given to me, I was like, it's probably not going to hit as hard as maybe one, or as I anticipate. And a lot of feedback has been good about this, surprisingly. I mean, I know Insane Labz don't always have the best reputation per se, because this is obviously a quote-unquote prop blend. So what is a prop blend? Well, basically a list of ingredients that aren't really too specified, or it's not transparent. But nice thing about this, there is 35 servings per container, so it does actually equate to value for money. But let me just fill you guys in. So I actually did weigh this, and not really to my surprise, because I kind of thought that this is what was happening, but around about just past a level scoop is the 6-gram dose. So everyone's thinking that this is hitting extra hard and stuff like that. Is probably overdosing on this. Well, I won't say overdosing, but they're using more than the recommended serving size. So what does that mean? That just means that you're getting more stimulants than what you usually should, because the scooper is more than what it should be weight wise. So when you weigh it out, it's definitely not a 6.2 gram. If it's a level scoop is around about 10 grams. So you're almost getting double the dose. So I did, obviously I'm going to get through to this and quickly touch on the ingredient panel. Doesn't really need too much of an introduction. I mean, I've heard stories about this is a gram of caffeine and all other kinds of stuff, but the way that I found this, it was well, okay, well, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked, man. I'm getting sidetracked. So the PSYCHOTIC blend is 4,459 milligrams. I like how they do that, just because when they state in milligrams, it does sound more than if they had to go 4.4 grams, if you know what I mean. 4.4 grams, nah, that's nothing. That's piss. So anyways, we get into the PSYCHOTIC blend. So first up, the ingredient should be the most abundant, would be your beta-alanine, creatine monohydrate, caffeine anhydrous, amphiberry, oxygold, okay, dimethylnolamine. You got your Rafflesia vomitera extract, alpha yo. Then you got your huperzine. So yeah, it's very much underwhelming if you have to read it like that, and to think that the most you can out of this is going to be your beta-alanine and your creatine monohydrate. So yeah, so it does have stimulants in the mix. I mean, it's going to, obviously, that's why it hits hard. So what are the gray areas here? It's hard to say, because nothing's really listed as milligrams being used per se. So what I would definitely say about this right off the bat, getting to the effects right now, pumps are non-existent. I mean, you will obviously indirectly get pumps when you train. You will obviously boost your own nitric oxide production, right? Because obviously you're pushing and blood flow will be amplified. But external pumps, like pumps coming from this actual product are not there. But what I would say is that when I used the recommended 6 grams versus a level scoop, which is about 10, the level scoop obviously yielded a greater effect, much greater. It was like day and night difference. So I would say right off, if the rating of this, I'm going to rate this, let's say how it would standardly be rated. Someone uses a scoop, they don't weigh it, that's going to be your regular scenario. So a recommended dosage, it's not the best, to be honest with you. It's okay, but then when you use that level scoop, bro, it hits like, I won't lie, it hits really good. Firstly, you hit with a lot of beta-alanine tingles, you hit with the urgency, and like you want to go train. You're sweating like I'm sweating right now, sitting inside a hot ass room with no aircon. So you're sweating, and you're intent. You have that intensity and desire to train. But again, like I always say this, but I don't actually follow it through myself. When you take this, be near a gym to train. Don't take this and do your shit and then train, because you want to get productive with this. Like I felt that as well. You want to get productive with this. You want to do something. You kind of have the urgency. Your mood's heightened. It's elevated. But the thing with this that I also noticed as well is that you do have a very quick rise, and during your training session, the energy and the urgency kind of slowly drift away. It's not bad. It's not bad where you're going to have a crash, but it's bad to the point where, well, I won't say it's bad actually. It's just to the point where it's obviously not as good when you first use it. Now, some hardcore pre-workouts, crack, it has a longer lasting effect, which I like. No, it's not to everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone trains for 2.5 hours, 3 hours. I mean, I really go out training some days like I'm going to go out to kill myself. But with that being said, on the full level scoop, this stuff is really good. It is not a joke. I can understand how it hits some guys really, really hard, because as I said, I'm so used to, using my cracks and hardcore pre-workouts and all that kind of shit, and still having a very high stimulant tolerance. But if I didn't, I know where this would hit me. This would hit me properly hard. Like straight away when I felt the urgency, I was like, to a different kind of guy that's not used to it, or someone who's obviously not the same weight as me, or basically just can't handle stims, they're going to feel this and it's going to hit them hard. So my recommendation for this is, guys, use half a scoop, because that's literally the recommended dose. It equates to like 6 or 7 grams. But then when you kind of get to that stage and things are graphing lacquer, hit it up to that full serving, hit it up to that level scoop. I won't recommend going a full heap scoop, because then you're just taking the piss out of it. I mean, you're going to get less servings, it's going to run out quicker, and you obviously want it to last a bit, and you're obviously literally going to go past doubling the dose. So you definitely don't want that. So I think that's the main component of why people really have all these damn side effects, is because number one, they're not used to high stimulant pre-workouts, and number two is they are literally going too high dosing on this actual product. So who's really to blame? It's hard. I think as a consumer, you should always weigh your stuff. I would say that there's a whole bunch of different scooper sizes out there in the world, but I do obviously feel that they can kind of get the scooper like near pinpoint, if not change a few things, like say, use under a level scoop, something like that, to kind of get more or less what it should be. But for them to just be like one scoop, it's very vague. So yeah, I mean, geez, it's I personally didn't find this as strong as what people suggest. As I said, I'm different, dog. I'm that guy, that advanced stim user that needs coffee to wake up, literally one eyeball at a time. So I do wish there was a bit more transparency. Apparently it is going to be a psychotic with the full transparency, I think, or something like that along those lines. But with that being said, this is definitely one of the most popular pre-workouts that you can actually buy in South Africa, that's readily available with most supplement stores. So again, you can grab this at 100% Nutrition and Apparel up in Kloof, and they're working on their online store. And when that is up, guys, please do give them a look. They're definitely worth the view. Honestly speaking, they keep great brands, and I would say that this is a really good pre-workout. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I would say that, if I didn't have a scoop, if I didn't have anything to weigh my scoop and I use this one scoop, I would straight off the back of this a 9 out of 10. I think it is that good. to be honest with you. It is that good. It's not something that, again, you can use every day, but to me, it's not anywhere near the strength of crack. I don't think people understand the strength of crack though. You just remember there's a whole bunch of different ones now. You get crack OG, crack old, crack barbarian, you get cracker loaded, you get, what other damn crack? Too many cracks, Undead King, and you're going to get your primal coming as well. So it says, let's say, what's that, 5-6 different variants of crack. So when guys just tell me, you know, this thing is going to kick you in the ass, bro, this thing's going to be the strongest thing you ever used. Nah, it's not like that. But what I would say, it's very enjoyable. What I would say is that if since we don't really have that much option when it comes to bringing in, well, we don't really have that many options of hardcore pre-workouts in South Africa. I would say this is definitely one of the better ones, to be honest with you. As an import, I think it's good. I think it's reminiscent of old days, old times when it was like jacked and stuff like that, just because you know it wasn't fully dosed, but you knew that, hey, you know, this stuff will kick you in the puss like really deadly hard. So I think that kind of falls in the same category of a concentrated hardcore pre-workout that actually does work. It actually does work. And I would say the gummy candy flavor is actually really good. It's actually really good. I ain't gonna lie there, it's actually really nice. I like it. So it's a lot better tasting than, let's say, for example, most hardcore pre-workouts, especially crack. Doesn't taste the best, obviously works way better, but the gummy candy is very reminiscent of a crack taste, but without the earth-shattering bitterness that Dark Labz does carry and follow through. So if you ever tried the both, you can kind of literally tell me if I'm wrong or right, because I think I'm right. If you have to use crack and you have to use this, this has the underliningness of a crack taste, and then it just gets, there's no bitterness, it's just nice, it's present. It's like I'm waiting for the kick and I'm like, no, there's no kick. This stuff is lacquer, bro. So taste gummy candy, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it tastes really good. I do wish there was a bit more sweetness to it. But with that being said, guys, I kind of would round it off and say that this is a great pre-workout. It is a concentrated one-hit wonder. I know some people may disagree with me. Maybe a few might agree with me. I don't know. But I'm just doing this on my own behalf. As I said, there's no obligation with 100% nutrition to be like, you know, I have to say this is a great pre-workout. Because I can say what I want. It's part of the review. You know, there's no right, no wrong answer. As long as I give my reasons as to why, you can't really be wrong, can you? There's no bias here at all. So what I would say is that this is definitely worth the bar, and I was surprised to say the least. So again, you can grab this at 100% Nutrition Apparel up in Kloof, and when the online store is ready, I will let you guys know. But there are obviously some aspects that this can improve, and as I said, I did give this benefit of the doubt because I'm kind of marking it as a level scoop and not the recommended 6.2 grams serving size, which would be more or less like half a scoop. So with that being said, thank you for watching, guys, and remember, please like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. We want to make this page grow, we want to make it big, we want to get the truth out, man. So with that being said, thanks again for watching. Cheers.